good to go. So I'll kick us off. This is session 34 of the Kings of the Stolen Lands campaign in, what is it, Pathfinder 2nd edition. And we're in the midst of establishing your kingdom. Think we could kind of do a recap of sorts over what sort of transpired last session. I know where you left off. I can tell you that you were on the road in this encampment near the Sootscale mines on your road on the way south in the Stolen Lands. This is where we left off. Does anybody want to take a crack at some of the things that happened last session?
Well, we were headed for the smoking tower when we came through here, and we were alerted by a large cat coming down that hillside on the right-hand side there. It turned out to be like a dire wolf, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and we did manage to knock that one out. I think it took out a couple of our kobolds, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 scouts, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they were lost to the dire wolf, but you all rallied and were able to drop the dire wolf. I think I don't know. Someone did get a pretty good bite out of them, but I don't think any of you had fallen during battle. So you were able to stand up to the dire wolf. And I think before that, the reason you were headed south is because, and I'll cut back to the map. This is probably where I should have gone to begin with. Your kingdom is Valeriana. You have established that, and your current capital is Stagfall. So we know those places pretty well. I think you had returned to Stagfall at the beginning of last session and were met by Vitali, who brought you up to speed on a lot of the work that's been going on. The roadway heading south all the way towards the Lonely Barrow was completed for the most part. It's safe for you to travel and is being pretty regularly used. So I think part of your business in Stagfall was to make some decisions about capital investments, basically to upgrade the fort, I believe was one of your decisions, and the other was to commission some new roadways to the west. So you've got a roadway that's been started towards Oleg's trading post, and then another towards Wind Ridge, which is a village that has had some troubles lately with trolls coming from the woods and starting to show themselves pretty boldly in the western part of your kingdom. So those were things that I think you commissioned. And if I want to say that you had decided sort of on a banner, maybe, but I don't recall now if we got that far, if you had picked your banner or anything like that.
I think we talked about it and it was supposed to be homework, I think.
Let's see, we might have it.
I just remember it wasn't purple.
Oh,
Right.
okay, I got it here. I threw something together,
Explicitly
and I
not
don't
purple.
think we. This was sort of the
That's
one that we started with because you guys wanted to do like a high five with Kobold, and of
That's
course,
right. I think we wrote a prompt, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this was like something similar along the lines of what you were going for, which we can tweak. But I remember this conversation now.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think given all the things going on in your borders, the decision was made. The strategic decision was made for you all to head towards the smoking tower because it seems like a monument of evil in a place that you're trying to establish
Cleanse.
peace and rule and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. That's what I recall. If anyone else has a different recollection, let me know. But I think that's kind of where we were. So yeah. So then you found yourselves in the Sootscales. You stayed overnight. That's where the direwolf encounter happened, and then I think that's where we left off. I don't think we got as far as you getting back on the road yet, but I think it was the following morning, and you're all, I guess, already awake after having dropped the direwolf overnight, and now you're preparing for travel the next day. So I was gonna have you guys make let's see. I think I'm gonna go with. I want to go with here. It's either performance or. Let me re-familiarize myself with the skills in this game. Yeah, I think performance is gonna be the check that we'll go for. I'd like everybody to do a performance check, and what we're rolling for here is how you were perceived by the kobold during the whole interaction. So in Sydney's case, you were not memorable at all. In fact, you might have been a real hindrance. And Fen
That
Warden
was a jerk.
was helpful. Rekla was helpful. So
Well, Sydney specifically tries to not be noticeable and be in the
true.
shadows,
I
right?
didn't think you'd be too
Our
upset.
mission
with
is
this.
to be unmemorable.
Yeah, the mission accomplished. Well, in this case, it might have been an
Actually-
outlier, right? You would have been remembered
Yeah.
for a bad reason, but
Probably
Wrong
because of the
mission.
whole gem situation and
Yeah.
and everything else, and I was the one that called the order and everything else, right?
So
Stood out for that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think
Damn it, they
they're
remember
starting to
my
blame.
face.
I think they're starting to blame Sydney on the bad weather they've been having recently, and somehow she must be responsible for the
That's-
rats they've been seeing.
That's fair. Well, okay, so what ends up happening as you guys are sort of packing out that next morning is one of the Kobold scouts, the one who was staying with you overnight, comes running down the road as you're getting ready to kind of haul out, and he says, "I'm going with you." And he basically puts himself right by Rekla's side, kind of bonding to Rekla for whatever reason that he feels safer with Rekla. And so he's basically joining your crew and abandoning his duties at the mine, which you are the rulers of the kingdom, so you can always, send him back if you must. But he wants to join you, so I'll let you decide if you're okay with that.
I'm good with that. It's always nice to have someone you can go for.
Fodder. Sorry, I got it.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand. I feel safer next to Rekla too, so I completely understand the sentiment.
All right, so you picked up a kobold on your way here, and you're back on the road. I think we'll pick it up there on the road, and I'll double check the map to see. I know you've got a long ways to go. You are on horseback, I believe, so that's speeding things up. From the Sootscale mines, it'll be 2 days journey to the smoking tower, even on horseback. So what is our general order here? I'm trying to recall. I think Fen Warden was in front typically, or Dalit.
Fen Warden's in front when Dalet's not around.
Okay,
but,
and then Dalit, yeah.
Dalet's here. Yeah.
Okay.
Fen Warden will take up the back. A bit of a distance between the main group.
Okay. All right. And then anything else that you guys wanted to do or take care of before you left the camp?
I'm sorting my spells for the journey real quick, just an FYI, but that's nothing we need to spend time with.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. All right. You can definitely do that. And we'll see a couple of things. Number one, what's the weather like today? Does anyone want to roll the weather in the tables list? I'll take the first roll if someone wants to do that while I'm looking something else up here.
Weather is foggy.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you guys are getting out of the valley near the mine entrance and coming into some layers of fog. Definitely keeping your visibility limited, but Dalit, you're able to guide over the well-made roadway without much issue. You could stay on its course, but as you're traveling for a ways and the fog is persisting, you can make a perception check.
Just Dalet.
The rest of you can make one too. I'll adjust his for his position. Okay. So you start to hear some travelers ahead on the road through the fog, and I would say that at some point or another there might have been a clearing that both Sydney and Rekla were able to look through, and you saw what appeared to be a handful of humanoids, likely human, heading down the path with, looked like they had a wagon with a horse-drawn wagon, one horse on it, and several folks sitting amongst the wagon that you could see. So you've got some time if you want to adjust yourselves at all in your positioning, but they're probably, maybe 200 yards ahead of you at this point, coming towards you on the roadway.
I'm gonna get into cover, get into some
Yep.
undergrowth or something, and
Yeah,
kind of
Fenwarden
observe from
will
the
also.
shadows.
Fenwarden just wants a good sniper position just in case things go awry, but probably
Okay.
nothing.
All right, I'm gonna move you down the roadway here, south of the mines and into the plains. Anyone else doing anything differently than just heading down the roadway?
No,
Nah, I
I
guess
don't think so.
I'll just chill.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're either pulling up or slowing your pace since the others have peeled off, Dalit.
Yeah, probably slowing our pace rather than just outright stopping, because that would look strange.
Okay.
Just so we don't lose the stealthers.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so you can do that, and I see some of you are hiding in the brush.
I guess Rekla would just have his wand available.
Okay, sure. All right, so this caravan is getting closer now, and it's starting to break through the fog. You can see ahead of you, Dalit and Rekla. Anyhow, you can see ahead of you a cart that's heading up the hillside towards you, and you have a good vantage point looking down on it. So do you, Fenwarden. You can definitely get a good shot from here on them if needed. But as they're kind of getting closer, I'll have Rekla and Dalit do perception only here.
Very good.
And then also, if you don't mind doing, both of you do society check as well, please.
Whoa.
So, yeah, so
Wow.
basically, once it gets into viewing range here, it looks like it might be a group of villagers kind of huddled together. It looks like maybe more than what the carriage should be holding. It's holding in passengers right now, and they look a little disheveled. They look a little bit road worn and shook up, if you will, just from having to travel through the fog and the mist and from wherever they're coming from. So you definitely see some anxiousness on their faces as they're approaching you with caution, and they slow down as well. The man who is driving the cart hails you, Dalit, seeing you first, and he says, "Good day, sir. We are northbound. Can you tell us what awaits
Where do you
us?"
head? Where do you and your party head?
"We are headed for Stagfall. We have heard that
Oh,
there is a surplus of food and jobs and glory to be had, of which we have none at home."
I'm sure you'll find a, a great bounty there. Where are you coming from?
We lived in a village in the southwest, or just I guess it would be east of the Thorn River, and they kind of name off this name of this village that just like you can't even like discern what the name is. It's got too many syllables. It's not one you've heard of before, but from what they're describing, it sounds like it's on this western side of the range, on the opposite side of the smoking tower.
Are you familiar with the strange smoking tower that is in that region?
"I am," says the driver as he sort of looks a little bit like more concerned as you ask that question. He says, "We avoided it as best we could.
What do you know of it?
I know that there are some mysterious wanderers who come and go from that direction. I don't know what they're up to exactly, but someone must keep the fires going." I do know that there have been disappearances in the mountain villages, including ours, of many hardy travelers and adventurers who may have wandered in the wrong direction towards the tower and never returned. But I was always told to steer clear of it, and we tried to do that, but we did see the tower last night from our camp, and we could see a light down at the tower in the middle of the night that got my attention. An older man actually speaks up and says that, it got my attention. I pointed it out, but the others didn't want anything to do with it. Can't blame them. But I saw something shiny down there by the side of the tower. I could swear it was almost glowing. In the middle of the night it was. Yes, old man, yes, we'll be at Stagfall soon. What can you tell us of Stagfall? Are there jobs?
It is a town on the rise, yes. It is expanding, and there is need for skilled labor, there is need for trade, there is need for a great deal of people in Stagfall. I'm sure you will find yourself busy and useful.
Well, my trade is fletching, and with that they'll actually show you that they have a few barrels of goods with them, and of like the 5 barrels that you can see, 4 of them are filled with different sized arrows and bolts, of which they'll offer you if you're in the market for some bolts or arrows. We do have some finely handcrafted ones here. We could use the support.
Yeah, actually, let me sample some of your crossbow bolts, and perhaps we could make an arrangement if they're up to snuff.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Take this. Load this one. Load this one. This is my finest one. And he'll walk across, like kind of getting they're kind of like getting out of the wagon a little bit here, and he's gonna take one of his barrels and walk it across, and on top of the barrel, he's gonna put a rock, and he'll say, knock the rock off.
All right.
So you can take a shot at it.
He'll take aim. Oof.
So it kind of sails. It kind of like sails
I'm
on
a little
you.
out of practice. Forgive me.
Yeah, Fen Warden can't stand it any longer. He's gonna have to come out of the trees and look at the arrows.
Yeah, this is now amateur
Okay,
hour for you.
whatever. Let me see the arrows. Okay.
Well, so they're gonna go, like one of the younger kids who's in this caravan like is now like scouring looking for the bolt that you missed. You know, it's like an important bolt to them. Like it's like the demo bolt. And they're like all like trying to find this demo bolt. But if you do come out of your positions for the others, you can approach, and as long as you don't make you're not trying to surprise them or whatever, and you're just coming down the roadway, they'll react favorably to you and offer you the same deal. If you want a discount on arrows or bolts, you've found the right caravan.
Terribly need some, but yeah, we'll encourage them to go up to Stagfall, sell some of the goods, and buy materials for more goods, and
I think they should speak with Vitali when they get there. We're gonna need some arrows and missiles for our militia.
And is anyone interested in buying any from them now?
Yeah, Fen Warden will definitely buy some.
Yeah, I think Rekla doesn't use his crossbow much, so I still have 6 of the original 10 crossbows bolts I started with, but he'll top off at 10. He'll buy 4 crossbow bolts.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me if you do ever fire them off. Depending on what the setting is, we'll try to figure out how many of them you're able to recover. But they'll kind of like, once you show interest, they'll kind of bundle a bunch of them together, and they have some twine. They'll tie off bundles of 20 of these for you, and they'll say, no payment, but I do wonder if perhaps you have some rations that we might borrow. We are a little low.
Aye. Rekla will give them half his rations, which is 5.
You're very kind. May these
Yeah,
bolts
yeah.
find themselves true. He'll hand them
And
over.
Fenwarden's going to ask him if he can take 20 arrows from him,
Oh,
and he'll pay whatever price they're asking.
Yeah, I mean he'll take a silver piece for the 20, which is like half the price you would, probably less than half the price you would pay in town. But he seems more inclined to take rations instead of silver, if you have rations.
Yeah, I can give him 4 days of rations, and I'll also give him the silver piece.
Okay. Let's see, I think. Yeah, so he'll tie up the bundle for you and gladly make that trade. They're pretty happy. They look a little bit relieved. I think even some of their nerves have subsided seeing you and hearing that Stagfall is up and coming place. Now that they've got enough rations to make the journey too, it seems like they're a little relieved. But you also get the sense that they're not well equipped to really protect themselves. They're a pretty vulnerable group from your eyes, but you know that where they're heading is safer than where they've been. So with that, what is the other thing? So they've told you about some of the missing folks. They've told you about the shining at the tower. Oh, the other thing. So one of the younger members of this caravan might sort of do like a second look at you, Rekla, and sort of like whisper to, maybe not whisper, but talk quietly to someone next to him. And so for anyone who wants to try to overhear what he's saying, you can roll a perception check, and I'll let you know if any of you pick up on what he's saying.
He's not real slick with it.
Everybody picked up on it. So you distinctly hear him saying to the person next to him, "Is that a Spriggan?" And do any of you have a skill? I'm trying to wonder what skill might be in society.
Occultism? Aren't they? Are they Fey? Would it be occultism?
Let's see. Let's double checking. I could make a case for all of those. I'd say nature is probably the number one. And if you wanted to do maybe religion, you could use religion. Okay, never
oh,
mind. I think none of you really have to roll. It actually makes great sense
I
that
just read a
Rekla.
book about Spriggans.
Yes, it makes great sense that you would know about them because Spriggans are actually gnomes. And they are gnomes who they're sort of a faction of gnomes that split apart and became all about survival. And they actually don't sort of experience or have feelings of joy. So they're really like almost like a soulless gnome, hairless. They're hairless as well. They're hairless gnomes, and they're kind of longer, a little taller than your type of gnome, but definitely something you would have heard of before.
Then
These
Rekla would be like, "Hey, I got hair."
Rekla, I don't think that's a compliment that they're paying you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that the fact that he's asking this is alerting you to the fact that there may be Spriggans,
You're in these parts.
in these parts. Yeah. So one of the things that you would definitely know about Spriggans, Rekla, is that they have the ability to sort of shapeshift, or they're rumored to be able to sort of shapeshift. So they are fey in nature, and so they have some resistance and things like that to magic as well. So you would have all of that knowledge.
Once we're away, I want to ask Rekla if the Spriggans are characteristically evil or not necessarily.
Yeah, they're certainly more evil aligned than most gnomes would be. They would go along with evil tendencies. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they all are evil. I'd probably say they start at a neutral place, but because they don't feel joy and they sort of pride themselves on not feeling joy too much, that has a tendency to have them fall in with some evildoers. So, but yeah, that's they're extremely happy. The traders finally find the bolts, out in the grass. I've got it, and they return back to the caravan and begin to make their way. They're hopeful to try to make their way as far as you made it today. If you guys tell them about the encampment that's there near the Sootscale mines or not, they might make that their destination.
Yeah, I think we'd pass that along.
Okay. Yeah, and your Kobold friend would probably give them the details on where the key is and everything else. So, all right. So they're on their way. You guys pick up a few arrows and bolts out of that situation, and the day progresses. You continue to travel down the roadway here, and let's see what else awaits you. Oh, you roll on one table, and then you got to roll on another. That means it's special. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so yes, you guys continue down the roadway for a while, and it's starting to get late afternoon, I'd say, to the point where if and I assume you guys are traveling sort of until dusk most of the time, especially when you're trying to make good time. But it gets to that point where it's sort of late afternoon, and I'm gonna have you roll perception, please.
Dang, 2 in a row.
Wow,
Nice.
look at this, jeez, all of you guys.
We're on top of it tonight.
I'm not gonna be able to sneak anything by you with these perception checks.
Yeah, just wait till we start rolling attacks.
Yeah, different
Yeah,
story.
I am trying to burn them all out before we get to the attacks. That's for sure. No, all right. So Rekla, Fen Warden, Sydney, particularly, you might see it first, but you all see up in the distance. Again, you're in these rolling hills in this plain area, and you see what appears to be a large humanoid figure up on the hilltop, sort of looking almost down toward you, and it's just sort of standing there, whatever it is. It's pretty far away, and you are looking through the fog at this point, but you're certain it's a humanoid shaped creature or figure that's looking at you from atop this hill. So it's pretty far away, again, maybe a couple hundred yards still to reach it, but what would you like to do in this case?
Are we on horseback?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are
Um,
horse.
so the way I want to do the horseback situation is assuming that the kobold is willing. I actually want the kobold to ride my horse and maybe pony train it like with a lead rope to somebody else. I don't know, maybe Dalit or Rekla, whoever. So the kobold doesn't actually have to steer the horse. He's just kind of pack
Mm-hmm.
pony along. Because I have a 50-foot move speed, so I could, if I wanted to, walk basically the same speed. I can't stealth the same speed, but I can walk the same speed. But I will dismount the horse with the kobold still on the horse, assuming it is, and I'm gonna point that out to them, and they're, I guess, gonna see it at the same time. But I'm gonna be like, "Hey, boss, I think we got trouble. You want me to go check it out?" And I'm already kind of hitting the brush and heading that way, assuming that somebody's gonna tell me to go.
Does anybody try to slow the advance of Sydney here?
Nah.
Make good choices.
So I will slip into the brush, and then as I slip into the brush and out of a little bit of line of sight, I will use that conceal spell and then invisibility and go see if I can go get closer to this dude and get a good look at what the hell's going on.
All right. Yeah. So let me double check your rolls here. So you're stealthing along. You've got guidance on you, and you start to make your way up towards maybe some higher ground where you can get a better vantage point of this creature. And let's see. Yeah, so you make your way up. You've done a good
And
job.
I'm invisible. for what it's worth. In
Yeah.
the
Yeah, so you can definitely close the gap to the point that you can get a clearer view of this. And what you end up seeing is something you've probably never seen before. I don't think Sydney's seen before. So I'm going to have you make a nature check here to see if you can't discern what it might be.
oh, I'm on it.
All right.
Meanwhile, Fenwarden has done hunted prey. He's studying this thing to figure it out.
So I would say that you get an overwhelming feeling, Sydney, that this lone humanoid may not be alone. After a few moments, you kind of notice behind it some other movement that doesn't seem like it's coming from it. So that's caught your attention, but more importantly, I think you're trying to identify what it might be. And from this distance and given your role and everything, it looks kind of like the combination of like a twisted tree and a giant.
Does it look large sized? Like it's bigger than me? It's bigger than medium?
Yes. Yeah, it looks large.
And what does it appear to be doing? Is it like staring down at the party or where like the road where the party is on the
Yeah,
road, or is he
it's
kind of
it,
looking around in multiple places?
it's trying poorly to blend into its background while it looks down the hill from that vantage point, which you all noticed right away as you were coming by. So again, it's still, I think, thinks it's hidden to you. It has no idea obviously that you're where you're at.
I'm going to here. I'm trying to see like the limitations of this spell
No,
are.
no problem. No problem. I mean, I think the question is for the group as a whole here too is, a little bit of how involved you want to get with this thing, or how concerned you might be of it watching you, following you as well. So those are all things even though Sydney's kind of acting independently at the moment and you can't necessarily communicate, those are all things you guys can consider. But what are you thinking, Sydney?
So I am going to use Figment to the party's like a couple hundred yards away, right? Like maybe 500-ish feet, 1,000 feet, more than that. Where about are they?
Say if you're halfway between this thing, they might be 200 yards behind you and it's 200 yards in front of you, something like that.
Okay. So what I am going to do, I'm going to use Figment, which is a simple illusory sound or vision, but it can include intelligible words or elaborate music. I am going to make that Wilhelm scream, but I'm going to make it kind of behind the creature, or kind of like off to the side a little bit, like not to where it would like look in my direction. So I think the range here is 120 feet. So maybe like draw a triangle at a 45-degree angle, if you will, off to the side between us, because I can't quite cover the full distance between us, but you know, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock off me, 120 feet in front of me, to get his attention in that direction, and I'm going to start swinging the other way. And I'm particularly going to be interested if he reacts hostilely, or if he like goes to hide, or like how he reacts to that.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, the sound would occur between you and the being.
Yeah, it's gonna be
eh,
basically like 2 o'clock off of so like not directly between me and the creature, assuming that it's like
Okay,
I'm facing the creature,
okay,
like off. That way he doesn't like immediately look in my direction. He kind of looks away from where I am.
okay,
and then I'm gonna start and then I'm gonna start swinging in the opposite direction. But mainly, I'm just watching him still. I mean, I'm invisible. I feel comfortable about my stealth. I feel comfortable I can run away. I'm really just trying to see what his reaction is. If it's hostile, to go after the thing, or if he goes and hides, or if the other movement brings other things out, etc., etc.
okay.
And a little bit, I don't know if the party can hear the Wilhelm scream, but a little bit to alert maybe the party that like there's shit going on. Although they probably have no idea what that is. I'm not close enough to like message them or anything. And we didn't talk about it in advance. So
Yeah, so all right, so the sound would be audible to the group as well as the creature, and once this sound goes off, and the rest of you obviously would be a little startled by it, it's just being so sudden, and you would notice that the creature starts to back away from the edge. Again, I think it's obvious to you that it thought it was well hidden, and as this noise occurs, it starts to sort of creep back, trying to continue to hide itself. Doesn't charge out or anything at the moment. It just sort of looks like it's content to stay amongst the tree line.
I'll probably hang out for maybe like another 45 seconds ish, and then I'll work my way back to the group and let them know what I saw, which is a giant tree man and potential friends. They don't seem to be extremely hostile, but I think they're up for a fight if somebody were to give them one. We could probably get around if we want to, or we can parlay them maybe. I don't know. They don't seem like hyper hostile.
Is anybody wanting
Yeah,
to investigate further or move on?
I think Fenwarden's more thinking, we move on and watch our back. But I'd rather get to the smoking tower and get that figured out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rekla's sort of the same mind. If there's not a conflict and they're not being hostile, I think we pass them by.
Okay. So yeah, so Sydney returns to the roadway with the rest of you, and if you want to go ahead and roll perception again, you guys can all. I assume you're going to continue to keep your eyes peeled to see if it reappears as you're riding off, and this will be.
I'll kind of hang back too and do a little bit of stealthy with the idea that maybe I can make up some ground. I got some
Okay.
make sure we're not getting followed. I'm not gonna hang
Yeah.
back for minutes or anything, but a couple minutes just to make sure.
Okay. So you don't see them reappear, and you make your way far enough. It's probably been another couple of hours of travel without seeing anything following you, and so you feel comfortable that whatever that was is at least out of sight, and you press on, and eventually you get to the point that dusk is starting to settle in, and I imagine you're gonna try to seek out a campsite.
Yes.
So let's see, camping rules, camping activities. I really need to have
There they
this
are.
memorized by now.
Oh yeah.
But I think one person is going to seek it out with their survival, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's a good one for Fenwarden. He will look for a good camping spot, one that's comfortable and defendable and easy on the eyes. Yeah.
Well, that's not a camping activity, right? We can all sort of look for
Well, yeah, you can all
spots.
do that, but you do have to use survival.
Oh,
For survival, yeah.
So I think
right.
it ends up falling on those of you trained. Oh my God,
Oh,
look at that. Look at that.
I am trained, but can't match
Rekla's
what
like,
Fenwarden found.
we could sleep on this bed of rocks right here, guys. This is perfect.
See, it's even got water on it, so you don't have to go get your water.
I was gonna say the river looks very comfortable to sleep on.
Yeah, yeah. These wet rocks are gonna be perfect, I swear.
Meanwhile, Fenwarden has found a cave that already has a fire
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, there's like hay beds already, installed. Yeah.
Old little bandit cave.
So
We
yeah,
found somebody's fun.
let's roll with that idea. I think with a 20 on that check, yeah, Fenwarden, you actually do find a little cave, just a perfect little alcove that will fit your entire party in it, allow you to have a fire nearby, and I won't even, because you rolled a 20 there, I'm not even gonna make you guys roll for camouflage. I'm gonna say that as a part of that
Nice.
success, you've basically found a fully camouflaged site. So you guys, the rest of you should have 2 camping activities that you could use if you choose to. Since you didn't burn away your daylight hours, you still have some time to do these if you want.
It's 2 hours worth of time, right?
Yeah, each
The
each one is 2 hours. So
oh, each is 2
assuming
hours. Sweet.
you yeah slowed down at dusk, then you can each
Looks
get
like
2
we
done.
lost Joe.
Oh.
Dropped out of Discord.
Oh, we rolled a 20 on survival, and he's like, "I'm out. I'm out. Done. Drop the mic."
Drop mic.
Fen
This
Warden
is
mic
yeah.
drops.
No reason to go any further. Well, how about you guys look and decide what camping activities you want to do? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think Rekla's gonna cook a special meal.
I will try to organize a watch.
I'm gonna study my spells, so I'm not gonna be doing a camping activity. But
Ah.
do we have a color? Do we have a color for the group? Do we have a color that we want to have
Yeah, I think like the yellowish that we picked for the.
for the banner?
Yeah, I think we chose that because it's the opposite of pearl or
Right.
purple.
Yep. Nope. I assumed that was the color we were gonna go with, but I just wanted to make sure. Because I'm gonna make some of these Everlight gems, and I'll make them yellow
Nice.
or gold, I guess gold. So take advantage and get a drink of water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a drink too.
Just walk away.
Feeling lonely?
A little bit. I was thinking about going on a break myself since everybody's just leaving.
I mean, it is an unofficial break.
But yeah,
Can't do nothing.
We lose jokes
Joe just
entirely now.
decided to,
Yeah, Joe's 100% gone.
So final.
I know.
All right, let me see. Did he?
Nothing in chat yet. I wonder if his computer crashed or something. He's just rebooting. That's gonna take a minute or two.
Yeah, or his internet is down. That's what I was wondering, if he's completely offline. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's already done his work. I mean, he's already found you a perfect spot. So I guess in a way we can kind of
Yeah.
press on without him, and we'll obviously include him in the watch order and everything. But
Yeah.
what were you guys thinking about for? Oh, he's
Ooh,
starting to
hey.
pop in.
So Sydney is going to cast. I gotta check out, see how long this takes.
Rolled
I believe
another
it's
20. Jeez.
I know, right?
What was he rolling this for? Was this?
I'm not sure. It might have been a desk pop when he was getting up.
What were you thinking, Clayton?
Okay, so I have those 4 gemstones, and I'm imagining something like yay size. But
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got that
props.
Everlight spell that I changed up so that I had it. I'm gonna make 2 of them that are gold, so that people can like hold them in their hands and use them to like signal or whatever if they want to. Basically, it's a spell that turns a gemstone into a torch.
oh,
So
That's pretty cool.
that's what I was gathering the gems for. So two of the gems that I got, I will do that with, and I will make them. I will do conceal spell and pull out some scrolls to make it look like I am reading it off the scroll, like I did with the first one.
All right, I
But
gotta see this roll. I gotta see the conceal roll for this one.
absolutely, absolutely, it is. So it is deception. I'm gonna be like in the corner with
I
all my
love
shit.
it.
I mean, I'm always dragging my books out, so
I
that
haven't
ain't.
kept track of if anyone's onto you yet, but I just love that we.
Rekla's the only one that's seen anything so
That's
far.
true.
Yeah.
Rekla has.
Okay,
That
so
was in the craziness of the 4 tower or the 4 statue situation. There wasn't time for concealing.
Yeah. And Rekla knows snitches get stitches, so.
But
as a fellow Magic user, yeah, he knows for sure. Okay, so
but I'm
you.
gonna try and make it look like that I'm using scrolls and not casting this from my own spell slots or whatever. Because I don't mind people
Yeah.
knowing that I know how to use magic items. I just don't want them to think that I'm an actual wizard.
Yeah, and I think until you give them some reason to try to disbelieve you, as long as you're hitting the challenge check, which you did on your deception roll, then it looks legitimate. So who are you going to give these stones to? I know you're human and
Yeah,
Dahlak's
so
human.
I've got one already, and then I've got 2 more. So are the 2 that I just make. So I'm gonna give one to Rekla and then one to Fenwarden, since Fenwarden tends to break off from the group a little bit more, and As far as I'm concerned, Rekla's the boss. So, but there you go. The gem that I started with, I think, was worth 20. Let's see what
Yeah, so you
he told
guys
me.
have a Everlight. You can just call it Everlight gem.
Yeah. And it is gold. They are all gold. We asked. It's the same yellow that was on the banner thing that you have. That'll be our color,
Okay.
so
And
that we can
is
see
this
them.
enduring? Does it go forever, or is it a?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
enduring.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is. It is literally a torch in a stone, and I'm imagining something this size so that you can conceal it in your hand to put the light out, and then
Yeah,
shine
drop
the
it in your
light. You can
pocket
do
or
like some
yeah.
signaling, yeah, whatever you want to do with it. It's yours. It's out of my inventory. Don't care what you do with it.
It's
What did I
interesting that you
say?
can make whatever color light you want too, because that
Yes,
can,
we could have them and have different ones to signal.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. So you can change the color, or when it's created, it stays that
no,
color.
when it's created.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
when it's created.
Okay. Makes sense. Any other camping activities
Well, I
anyone
guess the
wants
other
to do?
question is, would we rather have them? Would we rather have everyone have different colors so we can signal each other like that way?
I mean,
So we
you
can
would
be like,
know then whose light it is, but
Mhm. Could
I
be
don't
useful.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah, we could do.
sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
It's going to look
actually
like the planet here.
you can absolutely do that.
well, I'll make a gold one, and then maybe like a blue one and a red one or whatever.
Okay.
And if you have any other suggestions, and Sydney will be like, I got 2 more gems. If anybody else has a color suggestion that they want, and we can sort out what everyone's colors out
Yeah. Fed
are at
Warden
some
would
point in
rather
time.
if do a green one if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, Rekla will use the blue one.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then for my 4 hours of camping activity, I'd like to try and learn 2 spells real quick from scrolls that I have. Specifically, first Gecko Grip, which is going to require a DC 18 Arcana.
I was
Uh,
just about to
I
say Rekla's got can spend one of his camping activities providing aid if you want.
I'm actually going to re-roll that one because I think that this one might be useful.
Yeah, hey, Ben, take Dalit. Dalit should have that gem. Give him the blue gem.
Okay.
Because Rekla has dim light vision,
Yeah.
so he's got a little bit more of a.
So you're the Blue Ranger now.
Yeah, whatever color you want to be, just let me know. I'll rearrange it, and I can change the color at some point in time in the future too. If you're like,
I
hey,
mean,
I'd
unless
rather be.
Neklo really wants blue, you just keep it blue. It doesn't really matter to me.
So you're
It's
No,
literally
yeah, that doesn't matter. Here, well, make Rekla's purple.
There you
there
go.
you go. That'll work. So you've used your hero point, but you have learned the spell.
yes,
So
Gecko
that's
Grip,
good.
and then so that's 2 hours, and then I'm going to spend another 2 hours trying to learn Enlarge, which is also a DC 18. So let's see if I can hit this time. No. Okay, next level.
Okay. No worries. Anyone else have camping activities they'd like to do?
I did an organized watch.
Oh,
roll
is that
I got a
that was
critical.
the perception roll, and you got a 20 on
Yeah.
that. So that means
Yeah.
everyone gets what, a +2? Did I read that
Yeah,
right?
plus
Okay.
2 perception checks on
Okay.
their watches.
Perfect. Very nice.
Well, it was a disaster last time, but I think Fen Warden's going to try again to tell a campfire story, even though it's definitely not something he's good at. But practice makes.
I can provide assistance to that.
Good.
He's gonna like animate it for you. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Color commentary.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he'll fill in the blanks. You forgot to tell him this part. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's really important. Yeah. So let's see. What do I roll for that thing?
That one, is that performance or is it something different? Might be.
Performance check against a DC equals set by your own level, as given by rulebook. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Definitely.
It's definitely not gonna hit. If that was the performance. Oh, that was Dalit's roll. That's his
Yeah,
aid.
yeah,
That's
that
his
was my
aid.
aid.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. But mine will probably be worse. Like I said, performance is not.
So it'll be 18 to hit the. Oh,
Oh,
I just
oh
terrified everybody.
man, you were right. You were right. Your instincts were right. You're like, it was a disaster last time. And you're like, it's gonna be a disaster again.
This is great.
so
And then they
so
all died. Isn't
yeah.
that
So
funny?
what story? What was like the general tale you were gonna tell? Like what were you about to tell?
Well, I was going to tell, about the successful adventure that a group of hobbits had, going after some trolls, and it was a really good ending. But I messed it up, and I accidentally said that the trolls ate the hobbits instead of the hobbits eating the trolls. So
Yeah,
it turned out, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Whichever hobbits didn't get eaten got turned to stone. So that was definitely like like everyone was relaxing for a little bit, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
everyone got really tense and nervous and was like, "Did you organize the watch, Dalit?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." Okay,
I
all
was
right.
imagining it kind of like my wife. She's got ADHD when she tells a story and she gets like caught in every minutia along the way. And by
Oh
the end of
yeah,
it, you're just like, oh.
yeah. Checked out. Just
what
too
were we
much.
talking about?
Yeah, too much. That could be. That
Like
could
as
be.
soon as I saw the one, I was like, yep, I know that story.
In Fenwarden's defense, he's got to dumb this stuff down for the humans and everybody because he can't speak Elven to you all. He's got to
That's right.
translate from ancient texts in his mind on the fly. All right,
Yeah, that's right. It's lost in translation.
that's
Yeah.
right. It's their fault.
The elves thought it was funny. I
Just
don't
had
know.
to be there.
This is the tough room, okay?
It is. It actually is a tough room because you've been traveling, been living with these guys for too long. They're like, we've heard all your
Oh
stories.
my God, Fenwarden,
Yeah, they're like,
stop!
we've heard them all. This
It
one
was
again.
actually the exact same story as last time. He was like, no, this time I'll tell it right this time, guys. This
No,
time.
no. Listen. Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I think that means
Uh,
that Rekla, you have actions
Yeah.
if you'd like them. That's
I'm
too
gonna
good
take
then.
a shot at cooking the Trailblazers roast.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Was it a check for? Was
Is
it
it survival?
crafting or nature or survival?
Survival.
Survival.
Yikes.
You know what? I'm gonna hero point that. Why not? I know it's kind of
Oh.
early, but I think this if I can pull it,
Man,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
you're tempting me now. You're tempting me.
Yes.
Much better.
Okay, you prepare a delicious meal. Everyone who eats some of this meal will recover hit points equal to your Constitution modifier, multiplied by twice your level.
Well,
And that's during this camping session. It doesn't happen immediately, but during this camping session, you'll recover that much, which is more than you would otherwise. So,
I had something different written in the effects in our cookbook.
is this a special meal or a basic meal?
It is a special meal.
Oh, what's this? I'm sorry, I was reading basic. What's the benefit?
I had +1 strength for 24 hours.
Nice.
Let's see.
Okay.
Cook special meal. The character gains the recipe's listed success effect, which is strength. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. If for some reason you want the other one, this was the other critical success, but I'll let you guys decide what you want your effect to be if you've eaten it, whichever one's better for you to take the bonus to strength for
I don't think
the day.
anyone has any hit points gone right now. We haven't been in any conflicts, so
Oh, I didn't know if you had. I guess you had probably fully recovered from the wolf.
Yeah, we specifically healed
Yeah.
after the
Okay.
other.
All right, so you guys are all feeling boosted with strength from the meal, and you're feeling confused about the story, but you're feeling good about the campsite that you've found. You feel safe, you feel hidden, and it's got all the room you need. So, what is your watch order gonna be? Well, first I should say, is there anything else you want to do before the watch begins?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
What's our general watch order here, Dalit?
I can take first watch.
Okay.
Sydney, do you want last watch since you'll be? Are you already prepared for spells? I guess.
Yeah, it's either fine. I only used up the invisibility spell. I'm good on everything else.
Okay.
So
Yeah, then I guess you can take last. Reckle will take second. And Fed Warden third.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
You do have a kobold with you as well. If you want to entrust him to his own shift or pair him up with
No.
someone, you can. That's your call.
No.
he can stand outside.
You can just sleep tonight. Yeah.
I think he's like hiding in the corner from the story. You know, he's like crying
Isn't
in
he?
the fetal
He doesn't
position.
even speak your language, and you've
Yeah.
got him crying.
He's having nightmares.
All right,
He'll
so
stick
Yeah,
with
he'll
me
be on
until
watch
I
the
rise.
whole night because he won't be able to sleep.
I'm gonna do some rolls here to see how the night unfolds. Okay. Third watch, Fen Warden is going about your usual watch when you hear some movement in the forest that sounds larger than, your average, nocturnal creature. And I think that gets your senses tingling a little bit to perhaps take a peek out into the opening, see if you can't determine what's going on. And sure enough, you see something moving around outside that looks pretty large, and it sort of passes through the area, walking not too far from the opening of your cave, but not stumbling upon it. And it continues to kind of lurk for a little while. The distance that you have from it, you can tell that it's something large, humanoid, and ultimately you kind of wait it out a little bit, and it wanders away to the point that you can no longer see it or hear it, and the danger seems to subside. So your time kind of runs out, and you are handing off to Sydney, I guess alerting Sydney of what you saw. And so Sydney, your watch goes by and you don't see or hear anything, and the morning comes. So you've not had any visitors you've made contact with, but you've had a visitor pass by, and the rest of you wake up that morning and you get filled in, I suppose, from Fenwarden and Sydney that something large was lurking about. What would you guys like to do?
During my watch, when everyone else is still sleeping, since I would have gotten my spells back at that point in time because I slept while everyone else was, I'll make that last gemstone, last Everlight.
Okay, that way everybody will have one. So
Yep,
everybody's
everyone's got one.
Okay.
I'm not sure who needed one yet and what color it needs to be,
You
but
guys can change the color on your Roll20 avatar to whatever you want your. So I'm gonna just go with whatever I see on your profile as
yeah,
your gem color, because I'm
Mine's
not gonna
already the right
remember.
color.
yeah, me either. So I just thought it'd be a cool
Um,
little thing we can potentially use tactically. So
no, I think it's a good idea. I think having a unique gemstone. Well, number one, having a gemstone is a really cool way of having a torchlight because it's very concealable. But number two, having them be unique colors is really neat. But okay, everybody's got a gemstone now, and the morning has come. You guys ready to head out?
Yeah, does anyone want to go inspect for tracks and figure out what it was maybe, or we're just gonna continue on the road?
I can't imagine that we track it down no
Yeah.
matter what it was. So
All right,
yeah.
let's move on.
All right, back on the road. Let's check weather. How about somebody want to roll weather again for us? I'll take the first roll as today's weather. I'm hoping for
I'll
like
try.
something dramatic, so just fog again.
meter.
Fog's not bad though, because there's definitely a lot of uncertainty in the fog. So foggy again. That morning you guys
And
pack up
fog.
your horses and get back on the roadway that your kingdom has built, and you start making your way southward, continuing. I think at a certain point in the morning, maybe mid-morning, late morning, the fog will start to clear a little bit. You'll have a little bit better visibility, and through some of the patches of fog, you can see in the distance the tower. At least the black smoke from the tower stands out between some of the layers of fog. But it's still a ways off. You know, if you continue to travel throughout the day, that you should reach it by dusk. Provided nothing else kind of stalls you. So let me roll and see if anything stalls you. That, and there's a macro in here called random cult events. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so you guys are sort of trained your eyes in on where the tower is, and again, the fog is patchy. So every once in a while, you'll kind of get a clear view, and the next thing you know, you can't see anything, and you're just following the roadway and the person in front of you. Well, at some point, as the clouds clear, let me have everybody roll a perception check on this one, and you will need to have a 20 or better. All right, so in the distance, behind the smoke, is the mountain range. I don't recall the name of this mountain range, but the unsettling thing that you see, those of you other than Rekla who might just not have the angle for it, is you see a winged creature flying in the air behind the tower, somewhere between the back of the tower and the mountains behind it. And again, you just get a quick glimpse, but it's obvious to you that it's not smoke. It's obvious to you that it is a large, very large winged creature that's circling in the background over the mountaintops. And it kind of makes its way, out of your sight ultimately. And you might be like just completely not blinking at this point as you're traveling, trying to find a clearing where you can see it again, and you don't see it again. But you're certain, the three of you are 100% certain of what you saw.
I see.
So,
Horrifying.
yeah, not the most welcoming feeling, but again, you're coming through the fog here. Maybe the fog is aiding you a little bit as well and giving you a little bit of cover. And you guys start to creep in closer to the tower. So let me cut us over. The black, thick smoke is looming in the air, and you begin to make your way past some of the openings in the woods here, where it starts to get patchy with woods and turns into rolling hills and then mountains. And ultimately, you come out to a clearing where you are able to see the smoking tower again for the first time since you traveled past it some several weeks ago. And it's just as you remember. It is billowing black smoke. It is nonstop. It looks completely consistent in the amount of smoke that it pumps out and churns out. There's no lights or movement from the structure itself. There's a seasonal sort of creek slash river that's washing down from the mountains towards the river past the front of the tower. But since you're coming from the east, you don't have to cross or deal with the water. You'll be coming from the land side. And so yeah, you're, I don't know how far away at this point. We'll say about a quarter of a mile away, where you can kind of pull up together and take a closer look and decide what your plan is as dusk is starting to set in again, and the swirling winged creature is sort of playing back in your heads, those of you who saw that too.
Highly concerned about that.
So what are your thoughts here? Do you approach at night?
Feywild better find us a good damn campsite.
Yeah, I
Another
think
cave, preferably.
we want to pull up and maybe stake out the place for the night.
Yeah.
We could walk
Yeah,
up
approaching
and
the
see
daytime.
what we can make of the light that those craftsmen saw when they were in
Okay. Do you want to try to? I guess you could either do a survival check to just to find maybe a lookout spot slash campground. If your plan is to camp the whole night, or if you just want to observe it from a hidden area. Same roll.
Yeah, Fenward will try to find a spot for that.
Okay. I've got your volume turned all the way up on Discord, Joe, and you're still kind of faint for me. Is he faint for anyone else?
He was for
Yeah.
me.
That
Okay.
should fix it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
little
what
better.
He's regularly faint, but he is especially faint since
Yeah.
he came back.
Okay. All right. Survival. We got a 22. Okay. So yeah, you're able to find a decent little spot on the side of the hill. Maybe you've got some brush that keeps you fairly well hidden, but also at a vantage point that you can see the tower pretty clearly. Even as it's foggy, you're still able to get a good view of it. So what's the thought here from the group on the tower?
Well, and it's just getting dark. It's twilight time?
Yeah, I mean it's still light enough that you can get some things done if you need to get things done. I just want to give you guys a chance to strategize on your approach here.
So we can watch it. I think we'll probably see the same thing that was described to us. Ultimately, we're going to have to go up and check this thing out. I think the only question is, do we want to send like Sydney ahead to check it out, or send the Kobold up there to check it out, and then we follow, or just all go together and see if we can sneak up on this thing? And
Well,
let's just
Rekla's pretty stealthy too, so maybe Sydney and Rekla want to go investigate.
We can.
Yeah, and if you see our Everlight shine, come a running.
Alright.
Okay, so you're sending the stealthy up.
Have we
Yeah.
seen the flying winged beast as of late? Like, when's the last time we saw him? How many minutes, hours, whatever
It's
ago?
it's probably been almost an hour.
Okay. So definitely still kind of in the area potentially.
Oh yeah, I mean it could cover a lot of ground in that amount of time. So it could easily be just over the hillside or
Right.
behind the clouds in front of you for sure.
Right.
Yeah. How
It could have
about
already landed and gone into the tower.
there's your source. There you go. No. How about we do a quick break here and then we'll come back and we'll start running through the checks and figure out what's going on here at the tower. Does that
All
work?
right.
All right. We'll be
Okay.
right back.
nice crystals there.
Unfortunately, I was muted when I was holding my daughters and I grew these from one of those like National Geographic science pack things.
Oh, could
It
you
comes with
grow
this
the?
little light up base for it, so I thought it would be appropriate.
That's great. What determines the color? Is it the base, or do you actually grow it?
No, I think there's like they're different chemicals. I'm not really sure.
Ah,
That's cool.
It took like a week to grow them. Grandma and Grandpa got them for him for Christmas. So
so
That's a
great.
good one. That's a really good
yeah.
one. Somebody in the Discord had posted a picture of their dice that they bought that have LED lights in them.
Okay,
Ooh.
I don't
let's
know if you
go.
saw that in the tavern.
No, but I will
Old
definitely go look to go find it.
Yeah, Old Head Allen is like our number one fan. And he posted, where did he post this? Maybe he put this in AD&D. I think he put this in AD&D 2E. Yeah, yeah, he did. If you scroll up to February 9th, you'll see a picture of his dice actually glowing. And yeah, that's just like it just reminded me of the whole thing with the
Oh, I like that. Those are sharp.
yeah, isn't that neat? I don't know how they stay
That is cool.
charged or whatever, but it's pretty neat. All right. Well, we'll pick it up here with your reconnaissance crew, which is what Rekla and Sydney,
Yeah, I think so.
the
If,
stealthy
if
the
anyone else
stealthy
wants to
pair,
join.
and you guys are wait? Are you? I guess I should ask this because you would know that doing this would take away from camping activity time, right? So
Yeah.
if you were doing, are you going to be doing this, while it's still dusk, or are you waiting until it's darker to sneak around? You're Whatever's fine with me.
Whatever boss says.
Yeah, I'd wait until it's a little further after dusk, a little
Okay.
further into the night.
So if you want to, then you guys could all do a camping activity first, just since you have that time slot to spend, just in case you do end up staying in this spot. So
Yeah.
you're gonna
Wait,
want.
I want to tell another story.
I'm gonna
Please,
Then
nail it
I'm
this time.
leaving.
Third time's a charm.
I'm gonna camouflage the camping site.
Okay, that's what I was
be
gonna say. Is you will have to camouflage it, which it looks like Ben did.
Yeah.
I can provide aid to that role if you want.
Uh,
I mean, you did a pretty
no, that's
stellar
fine.
job.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
you got it. It's all good. I'll study my spell book or whatever. I got plenty of stuff I got to keep going. So
Okay.
I will attempt to learn. Let's see here. Let's go with knock. It's a DC 8. I need an 18 on that one. Yep, it's a level 2. Damn. Okay. Well, next level.
Yeah. Next level. Rekla, anything?
Yeah, he's gonna try to cook a special meal since our other meal has worn off. He's gonna try to do Stargazer, which I have a +1 to perception and survival checks at night.
So I guess this would be the time of night when the strength effect kind of wears off, right? And
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I'm thinking. There we go.
Okay. Nice. Are you good on your ingredient list? I haven't been looking or anything.
Yeah. We did a bunch of foraging, so let me see here.
Did I miss anyone else? Fenward, are you doing anything?
All right, did somebody already do the organized watch?
No, you can do that.
No.
Okay, I'll do that. It's perception check, I believe. Yeah, zone DC. Okay.
Okay. Just a regular success. I think everybody's got a
+1
plus to
to
their
perception
perception.
checks made during their shift.
Awesome. All right. So you wait. Yeah, I guess everybody's, staying productive, I should say, finding this little spot, getting yourselves fed, and then as it gets a little bit darker, maybe just that next level of darkness, it sounds like you guys want to go do a little bit exploring. So for those of you that are going to creep up closer, you guys can do stealth checks or give me, explanation of what you're up to, I guess.
No, let's stealth it out. I'm gonna put guidance on myself before I do this.
Okay.
So I'm sitting at a 28.
Rekla, are you
I
joining?
am not invisible though. I did not invisible
Okay.
myself. I could do it.
Rekka's gonna give himself the cloak of shadow.
Cool. Okay. And what is your mode of operation here in general for the two of you?
I would think Sydney would lead the way, and we're gonna go check on the entry, or at least around the first floor, see what different ways we could possibly get in. Maybe if there's any evidence of, people coming and going, where they might be going, any information we can gather there.
Yeah, before we go in and like actually make the approach, I'll kind of fill him back in with what I saw last time, which was, largely there isn't anything that's accessible on the bottom floors in terms of like windows and stuff. There is like a front door situation going on, but I think it was like barred and shut. I couldn't get inside it. Or no, I did, and then there was like a stairway. There was a death tube. There was like a stairway, and I was like, oh hell no.
Mm.
And then all the windows are like way up high and can't
Yeah.
see them.
So let's say that our signal to Dalit and Fenwarden to approach would be,
Well-
I would take my gem out and
Yeah, purple
Flash.
purple means come to us. So Rekla, if you shine your purple, that means you guys come to us, and if you see yellow, that means get the fuck ready because we bringing trouble to you.
Yeah, but
I'm
even
going to, yeah.
even
I'm also
even
gonna
you would see
remind-
those hand motions and everything from far away. So yeah, you guys could work out a pretty detailed set
I mean,
of
technically,
things,
like we could do Morse code, right? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know
right.
that
But I
it
mean, you
exists,
could have
but,
your
like,
own simple, group
Yeah.
code.
like if I'm waving it like this,
Valerian
that's
code. This is Valerian code. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Yes. Help us, help us. Yeah, I'm gonna remind them that the Fenwarden is a pretty good climber. So if you're gonna investigate and come back, take a look and see how climbable it is to get to a window or something like that.
Gotcha.
All right, so you guys are stealthing your way up closer. You find, that the river continues to run and the smoke continues to pour out of this thing, even as darkness looms. But you get pretty close to the structure. You can see that there's a cobblestone wall, outer wall around the square tower, and that the chimney actually sits separately. It's not on top of the square, it's actually beside it. So the chimney is like its own structure that's connected to the tower, which you can see the rest of. So you guys are trying to make your way up, and so far from this distance, let's say again 100 yards or so, you don't see any movement. You're looking, I assume, for other signs. You can go ahead and roll perception and
I'm also
survival if you're looking
definitely
for tracks.
okay. I'm looking for signs. I will be doing perception, but I am also definitely watching the sky too for problem critter. Good baddie. So
Okay. All right. So you you guys are keeping a pretty sharp eye on things. As you're getting down closer to the tower itself, and you're almost on like ground level at the base of the tower, looking at it, you definitely like get the sense of sort of death and ruin. It's sort of more overwhelming from this vantage point as you start to come in closer to it. You can see that on the front of the structure, facing the river, facing, I guess that would be southwest, there's an opening. And from what you recall, Sydney, that you can go up to that opening, and there's a metal gate. And when you get up to that level, you can look through the metal gate and you can see a staircase leading on the other side of it upward.
there's not one going down as well. It's just up.
It's
Months, so.
yeah, I'm sorry. It goes upward and downward. It does, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like a single central staircase. Yeah, and I'll point that out directly and be like, "That's what I saw last time we were here." The death tube and whatnot.
So
I didn't try the door or anything else.
the
I didn't
bars and the way that it looks like it's a portcullis that is sitting here blocking you from getting to the stairs, basically. And it's iron.
Is it small enough that Rekla could fit through if Rekla tried, or is the opening too small for even Rekla?
Yeah, it'd be too small still for Rekla. But that's a good question.
So on Fenwarden's suggestion, what's the climbability? Like what does the walls and stuff look like, and how high to get to any feature that would matter?
I guess you could do a perception check to try to get a sense of how well it is. Yeah, I think that the cobblestone on the structure on the outer wall is a little more crude, but on the inner structure it's a little better. Even still, it's got chips and cracks and gaps that you think someone of Fenwarden's talent could climb. So, yeah, I think you feel like it's somewhat doable to go up this side of the structure.
And how high up would we have to go to get to a window or something like that?
So there's like some slits on the lower half, but the first sort of passable window would be, I guess, how much is this? 1, 10, 20, about 40 feet, 50 feet up. Yeah, about 50, I guess, from the ground level.
Is there anything around the portcullis door, the lever, anything like that that makes it look like we could figure out a way to operate it from the outside?
I mean, you've both looked pretty closely and not seen anything directly in this level that seems to control it.
Like
So
even on the inside, we can't see anything in there.
right. Even, right on the inside of the door, on both sides, on all the walls on this lower level, it's
Okay.
pretty barren and looks like it's just used for this. The rest of this level, from what you can see, is like got debris and things that have sort of blown in from the outside. So it looks pretty like it doesn't look like anyone's been in this area for a while because there's this sort of leaves and grass and dirt laying across the floor that you would think you would see a pretty clear track if there were someone that had been through here.
Are there like leaves and shit against the portcullis too to suggest that it hasn't been
Yeah,
opened and closed?
yeah, exactly. They're just, and it's not like a huge amount, but it's enough that you can tell it's natural and
Yeah.
has
So
likely not seen.
that's not the real door, in other words.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll throw up
Uh,
detect magic. Do I catch anything with detect magic?
So funny enough, when you do a detect magic on this, the door, the portcullis is magical. When you kind of look past the portcullis into the room itself, you actually notice that there is a scroll that seems to be glowing amongst the leaves and debris. It looked like leaves, but now that it's glowing, it looks like a scroll that's laying on the other side of the portcullis amongst the debris.
I will use telekinetic hand to grab said scroll and pull it through the portcullis and check it out.
All right.
And if I need it naturally has a 30-foot reach, and then I also have the reach spell if I need to add another 30. So I think that gives me 60. Yeah. So I can get up to 60.
Gotcha. All right. So first, let me give you your result here. So oh man, it's going all the way through. The scroll itself, trying to figure out which one it was. You can pull through and you can check it out real quickly. I'm just trying to see which one it. Oh, okay. It is a scroll of harm, and wrapped in it, in addition to the scroll, there's a little note. Now, the note is not magic, but it was wrapped together with the scroll. What languages does Sydney read?
Sorry, I gotta find them on the sheet. There's a few of them. So details maybe.
It's on the character tab,
Oh, there
bottom
they are,
right.
bottom right. Elven, Draconic, Dwarven, and Varisian.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you recognize this language to be Draconic,
Ah.
and it is a note. So I'm gonna show this to you since you can read it. Everyone can see it and see what it basically says in Draconic. So it says, "Of the known paths to the heart, 3 are known, yet none are plain. 1 on steps seen by true believers, 1 in stillness where breath is no more, 1 burning, yet offering passage to those who endure. Choose and be judged by the Dark Maiden's hand." Now, the Dark Maiden is, if you guys recall, Urgathoa's nickname. So she is the goddess of rot and decay that you dealt with in the Lone
No,
Barrow. So
I was gonna ask if there earlier. I was gonna ask if there were any signs of the Ugathoran cult.
yeah,
Well,
this gives you
totally
definitely
not.
kind of confirms like the rest of the structure from what you're looking through right there doesn't have too much that it's meant to just be an entryway, so there's really not much in it, but this definitely gives you that confirmation that Urgathoa is probably one of the occupants or related to one of the occupants. So, but yeah, you guys are standing up near the tower and kind of taking a look at all of this and gathering all of this. And for Dalit and Fenwarden, if you guys could do a perception check, please. All right. So first and foremost, you don't see any winged creatures reappear over the skyline, so I'll mention that. But secondly, as you're looking down towards the tower, you can see like a twinkling almost appearing, somewhat between you and the tower in that direction. It's like it's kind of like almost like a blurry line of faint light that's leading, from the side of the tower down towards the ground.
Of the tower towards the ground.
Yeah.
Oh. Is it leaking?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you know what it is at this point. But, back to, those of you who are standing at the tower's entrance right now.
Yeah, I think Rekla would be, ready to call in the other two. So I
Are we
think
going in yet today? Or are we
Yeah,
gonna camp and go in tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess we might as well go in the morning. So let's head back.
Okay, you guys can roll stealth on your way out of here.
Yeah, I mean, when they get back to where we're at, Fenwarden's going to wants to talk real quick about what we saw, and just like I wonder if that's something we should investigate in these light conditions. We might not be able to see it during the day. Maybe something about it being this time of day. So I'm wondering if there's something hidden on the outside of it, like a hidden staircase or something like that, and we're seeing
Some
hint
evidence
of
of.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, why
We
don't
can't,
Well,
we
I
can't see.
guess
We didn't
number
know we were
one,
there.
you would be sharing this note with the group, right? So this is a big
Oh
part
yeah.
of
Yeah,
what determines why you would go, you would think what Joe's thinking, right? So yeah.
I shared it with Rekla when we were there, and then I'll share it with the group again back there.
Yeah, even without the note, if I see something like that, it makes me wonder if there's something hidden there that for some reason we're just getting a hint of it.
And we didn't see any of that, right? Cindy
no,
and
we got
No,
no
no.
whiff.
So yeah. So at this point, like as Fen Warden is like describing it to you, you guys can try a perception check, and you'll have a plus. That's a pretty good actually. You needed that plus.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. He's gonna say, I saw it right there. It was kind of this weird sparkly thing.
You both
So-
needed the plus. Yeah. So you guys see like this faint, real faint shimmer. It's not like you can understand now how you missed it or you hadn't seen it before. It's very faint, but from this angle, and with Fenwarden kind of pointing out exactly where to look, you can see this these lines, if you will. So
Are they like up the side of the building, or like Fenwarden says, does it like look more like a stairway? I mean,
it would,
we went down there. We kind of understand the terrain a little bit, maybe.
yeah, I'll draw it off the side of this thing so you guys can get a better sense, because
And to your point, Fenwarden, that you asked us, yes, I do think you can climb the statue or the tower, and I think we can do something along those lines if we need to.
so it's a little bit like this. Again, it's like a misty light.
I'm not seeing anything.
No,
Yep,
not
not
really
seeing
okay
anything.
yet.
There
Oh,
it
there you
is.
go.
It's just slow.
Okay.
That
So it
sort
is
of
a
general shape.
Oh, I see. Oh, like a ramp.
Does it
Where's
seem to be coming out of one of the windows that are up there? Or is it like out the side of the wall?
I mean, it definitely seems like it's near the windows, the first level of windows.
Okay.
and does it appear to
Should
go
myth
all the way
this
to the
thing.
ground?
It goes like to the point where you're guessing it does, or it comes close. That's where you can't really see where it ends, but you could definitely see the top of it. The shape, the whole middle shape of it. Where it kind of terminates. You haven't figured out yet because you haven't gone specifically looking for it, but you're guessing it might reach all the way to the ground.
What's the distance slash time between where camp is to walk back to the tower?
I had you guys at a quarter mile, distance, let's say half mile from your lookout point. So
Okay.
whatever you think
Okay. No, that's fine. I just need an order of
Yeah,
magnitude.
yeah, it's not so close that they can, hit you with an arrow from here. I'll say it that way, or vice
Right.
versa. Maybe a perfect arrow. What are you guys thinking? Do you want to mess with it at night? Do you want to wait till the morning, or observe it longer, or?
Hey, I have an idea. Y'all just hold here for a second, and I'm gonna head down there and kind of stealth my way down there. I mean, if somebody follows me, somebody follows me. But I'm gonna head down there and stealth on my way out to kind of hide myself, and then conceal invisibility. And I'm gonna attempt to walk up it like it's a staircase. Like I'm gonna try and keep my focus on it, and I'm gonna see if I can walk up it like a staircase.
Okay,
And I have a 50-foot move speed. So I feel like I can cover a quarter to a half a mile relatively quickly, 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes round trip, something like that.
perfect. Okay, so give me a perception check followed by a athletics check.
Perception?
Okay, so you're able to follow this misty line, as you get closer to it. It just looks like a more of like a cylinder shape, and it definitely is faint. Even when you're near it, it's faint. It's almost easier to see when you're further away than it is when you're up close. But you can now that you know the line on it, you can follow it to the beginning of where you feel like it touches the ground or is within reach of the ground. But the even though it's kind of lit, it's the whatever it is that's there is not clear to you. And so as you try to step on it, you kind of feel your foot like hit the edge of something. Like you
Uh,
got the lip of it and slid off, right? And so you kind of fall and trip, and you won't take damage in this particular case, but you definitely kind of get a little twisted up and thrown off this thing because you know your foot didn't go where it was supposed to go because you can't see exactly where it's supposed to go within the mist. So you've got the right idea, you feel like, and you're in the right place, but it might be
So,
challenging. Step by step might be challenging.
yeah, between detect magic and read aura, and then I also have
I'm gonna copy the text as well if I can.
these two guys, recognize spell and quick identification. These two feats. And I figure out what the fuck is going on.
All right, so let's see.
So I got two feats going on in terms of recognize spell and quick identification, and then I also have detect magic and read aura cantrips.
So what you're noticing is that the stairs or steps that might be here are revealed by the moonlight. And with
Okay.
with the overcast that's happening right now, the steps are not fully forming. And so you're able to easily kind of pick up on the fact that these are like slivers of steps that are appearing before you that normally would be, probably a complete staircase.
In a more moonlit scenario.
Right, if it were clearer out.
So, okay. Do I know this to be something common that would be understood with my understanding of the Ugathoan cult? I know I got a little bit of back history. I'm not sure how much back history I have with them, but is this the kind of thing that they do?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something you've seen or heard of used
Read in a book, maybe?
by some high level, nefarious groups. But this in particular, like whatever the spell is, I don't think is apparent to you. Like it's not like, oh, that's an Ergothoan spell. Um,
Okay.
but the idea that they have this sort of riddle, if you will, to enter their lair, that is consistent with
Yeah.
Ergothoans.
Oh,
Yeah,
certainly,
yeah.
certainly.
Because you'll remember when you were at the Lonely Barrow, you all had to bring a certain offering to get the door to release to let you in, and that took
Yeah.
some doing, right? That took a little bit of kind of figuring out, and you had done that. So that's the part that's really consistent here for you, that makes you know it's
Yeah, I
Continuing to
will.
decipher the message, there's 2 other ways in.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna come back and report all of this, and including my idea that if it was a more or it wasn't an overcast and more moon was out, we'd actually be able to like utilize the stairs and go up them.
Yeah.
But in their current condition, I'm not sure that they're any easier to get up than just climbing the side of the building would be.
Well, it looks like, my guess is that there's something in the water. There's an access point in the water, and then
Yeah.
maybe the chimney
Like
itself
chimney?
is an
Yeah.
access
Right,
point.
right.
Yeah.
So do we want to try the water first, since that may be the most accessible? Although I don't know that we have any ways of, breathing underwater or holding breath for extra time or something.
I mean, yeah, I have this, and I'll bring out a scroll of water breathing. But
It's
I've
like
also got
pages out of
I've also
scroll, like,
got
hey.
this, and I'll bring out a scroll of gecko grip, which would give us a climb speed to go up the side. So we got options.
Yeah, the only problem with the smokestack or going in through the chimney is like
Mm.
we'd have to deal with not being able to breathe in there.
Well, I was thinking in the window. We just
Let-
And
climb
then,
up the side in the window.
yeah, but I don't think, well, I don't know if the window's an actual entrance. I don't know if we can.
Does anyone else have religion or occultism
Yeah, I do.
training?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
All of it.
you guys could make either one, whichever is better for you, occultism or religion, I'll try to give you some more
Ugh,
leads on what your character might be thinking. Look at
there
the
we go.
gamut here. We got the whole thing.
Look. I know a thing or two about this Ugathoa bullshit.
Yeah, this is
There's a
like
reason why you found Sydney in a jail cell.
this
Yeah.
is where like the debate just gets like completely won apparently. But no, I think going back to the question you asked a really good question about is, what do I know about, is this normal for Orgothoans and sort of that thing. And as far as their mode of operation is concerned, one of the things that you feel like is always there is sacrifice. So I just
So
give you that. I
basically,
give you that just to throw in as with your.
boss, here's the thing about the Ugathoans. Every entrance is going to be bad. Every single one.
Yeah.
You go in the water, presuming that there is in the water, and I bring out the scroll of water breathing, and we gotta figure out a way to hold our breath. We could go up the side, try the windows. That's not a normal entrance. There's probably trapped or something crazy, and I pull out that scroll of climbing. Or we can go in the chimney and we can just see how much it burns, and I pull out a scroll of resist energy, throw that down. Or we can wait for some moonlight and go up the stairs. And I ain't got anything to throw out, but I do have these crystals.
See these glowing crystals? What's the group
I'm,
think?
I'm like this whole time I've got
You
like
have a
my
lot of
mind.
options. That's a great point, and he has a lot of ways, or Sydney has a lot of ways of making each of them easier. So it's
And I
really
do
more of
have,
a.
as far as other resources that we have, Rekla has an elixir of fire resistance. So, assuming there's fire where the smoke is, we could
Yeah,
potentially send
I mean
someone in
that's
that
not
You
way.
the
let me know
end
what we
all,
want to
but
do, boss. I
Fenwarden's
can get
got a
us
ring of
ready.
fire resistance as well, so we've kind of got a lot of resistance there we could bring to bear. But
Yeah.
I don't know, the chimney, we'd still have to get to the top of the darn thing, so unless there's a door in the side or something like that.
Yeah. But
I'm
look,
climbing.
Sydney comes prepared. Boss, I come prepared, all right? I can help you out, but I need to know what the plan is, what you want to do. My suggestion would be just to head on up, check the window. That makes the most sense, and I think we could pull that off in the morning. But I do like your water breathing idea, or checking out the water situation, but I'm not sure how well everyone swims. I know I'm not exactly the best of swimmers, so
Well, are you
Strength
talking about
based.
checking out the window via the stairs?
No, I was
think-
thinking about checking out the window via climb up the side.
Climb up the side. Yeah.
But
I mean, we
but
could check
check
out
the
the
window
stairs.
that the stairs are going to, because this,
Yeah.
the assumption is that would be open when you get up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little wary to circumvent the scroll saying there's 3 ways in and try to invent a fourth. That could go badly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
I'm
here's the
thinking
thing about the Ugathoans. They all bad.
it's
Like
bad no matter what.
it's just a fourth bad
They
option.
mean what they mean, and they mean bad.
I'm liking this. We wait for a moonlit night and take the stairs.
I'm fine with it, boss.
I mean,
It's up to
though I
you.
do think we could check to see if there is a way into the chimney. Since it's on the side, maybe there is a door in that thing or something like that. And because we are pretty well equipped for fire resistance, so that
Yeah,
and going through the fire would be a sacrifice. So we may be able to do all right that way if there was a way in.
Well, I know
mean,
Sydney.
I'll
way
mention real
back
quick
when-
the tower or the chimney, the smokestack is one whole piece. It is
Yeah.
one giant that
Yeah.
just seems to be billowing smoke. You don't see any other openings or cracks or differences in it.
We climbing that too.
So you could absolutely climb it. I mean, it's climbable. It's not as easily climbable as the tower, though. It would definitely be more difficult to traverse the entire chimney, given the fact that there's just not as much to grab. So
Well, we could. How tall is it?
overall, the whole chimney is like 100, like right over 100 feet, I think.
So we could conceivably use the climbing potion and have someone go up and set rope or something to assist everyone else. And then we could use that same rope and drop it down in the chimney. I'm sort of leaning towards the chimney, just because we all have a little bit of fire resistance and any other.
What's
could just
Dalit
hang out
think?
for a day,
What's
kinda get a
Dalit's
feel for it.
mindset on this?
I don't think it hurts to wait for the stairs. Like, it doesn't really, doesn't really take anything away from us, and then we can just try the chimney. Since the chimney, at
just wait
least,
on
we have a chance to.
The chimney's
it feels
always
like we have
there.
more-
The chimney's always
it.
there. That's true.
Yeah, the
chimney's
water
always there.
feels sketchy.
Yeah, I don't like the water idea.
Yeah. Also feels just sort of lame to come all this way and then just drown.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you drown in a smoking tower?
Yeah, I'd feel better about
Trying to
dying
get
falling
in.
off a magic staircase
Why?
or down a chimney than drowning in a seasonal
I
creek.
think I also got
Yeah.
a cat fall feet. So, like,
All right.
maybe I'd survive a fall.
So that's if then it sounds like so again. This I think all of this transpired on this same evening. Where the moon was
this is
partially
us, but
lit,
we
and
haven't
you guys
set
are
up
just
a-
having this conversation. While you're at your camp, like trying to figure out what is the plan. Are we going tonight? Are we going tomorrow?
We're
And
fine.
it sounds like you got two of you who want to wait for the moonlight to light the staircase, and you've got two of you who are kind of like, I'll climb or I'll swim. I guess swimming's out, but two of you that might want to climb or are
I'm not a
indifferent.
boat. You got 3 bosses right here. I'm
Yeah,
not a boat. We're
I
the
just
boss.
I'm trying to get the tally on what's the majority think, because
I think they've convinced Rekla to try and camp out and wait for a clear evening.
okay.
I
Okay.
I think he was just thinking, like, if we have to do one right now, he'd do the chimney, but yeah, he doesn't mind waiting.
Yeah, if we give it 24 hours, who knows what happens?
All right, so let's do because I think you guys have already done your camping actions, and we would already be at that point
Yep.
of the night where you would pretty much be turning in. So are we just gonna repeat the watch, right?
Yeah,
Just use the same one. Okay.
Sure, but
Yeah.
the last thing I'm going to do before I go to bed is I am going to use my bonded object to get back my Everlight spell that I had earlier. And I'm going to do this a little bit away from camp and try to conceal it or whatever. And then I'm going to try and make another gemstone, last gemstone, because I had 4. This will make the last one. So,
Got it. Okay.
That's my attempt to hide my magics, or at least make it look like I was using the scroll.
See, I was gonna give you guys, what's the best way to do this? I think I'll just move one of these guys up into your party, and I'm gonna edit. All right. All right, so you guys should see in the party folder, I've added Verkus, who is your kobold friend, who's along for this, and he needs to be leveled up. He's also someone's gonna need to kind of manage him during if you're having him do anything, which I'm gonna assign to Rekla for now since he's stuck by your hip until you give him to make him someone else's problem. He's yours.
All right.
And he needs to level up, so he needs to get second level. He's first level right now, so he needs hit points and whatever else he would get going to becoming a second level fighter. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to do that right now or anything, but if as we're running him, remind me if we run into any of that.
Okay.
And yeah, so you guys have him now, and again, you can leave him behind if you want. You can tell him whatever you want to tell him. That's not a problem. But he is gonna follow you otherwise if you don't tell him. So I'm assuming he's at your hip if you're anywhere. All right, so next watch goes for that night. Let me get the watch rolling. Oh, all right. It is a extremely uneventful night. Save for the weather. Who would like to roll weather this time? We've had
Oh,
two
no.
fogs. Let's see if we can get a clear day.
Here it
Oh
is.
no,
Well,
the
thanks a lot.
exact opposite. So
Well, maybe the thing won't be flying around.
That's true.
right,
Bad weather to
yeah,
fly.
right. That's probably a good point.
I mean, a heavy
Um,
downpour might be a good time to go down the smokestack.
Hey.
Look at
I don't know.
you.
It'd be pretty
Look at you.
slippery.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, so you wake up, unfortunately, to a heavy downpour of rain that's starting to really put a damper on your mood for the morning as you wake up. Although it was uneventful during the night, which is a relief. Of all the things that could happen, I got the worst rolls on this particular evening. So that was good. But you're up now in the rain. You know, you're still in a semi-sheltered space from your vantage point, so you can at least communicate without misery until, you know, you want to leave this little nook and head out towards the tower. So what's your thought process this morning? I heard the smokestack might be interesting again. Unfortunately,
Well,
the rain means that the moon and the sky might be a little cloudy again, but
yeah.
What's
mean,
the
if it's
plan, boss?
it's a new day and it's morning, so like if we're gonna wait for the moon to come out, we gotta, you know,
kill some time.
find something to do with
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read scrolls if that's
we
what we're
sit here
planning on
at,
doing.
we're at risk of being, stumbled upon by who knows what all the time we wait. So we may just have to wait and wait for the weather to clear. But I don't know. Makes me want to think again about the chimney or the river. I mean, do we
Hey, you're already
we have
wet.
yeah?
Yeah, I think that
Do we have
the universe.
the water breathing? Is it a single scroll, Sydney?
Yes.
Once
So
we use it,
one
it's
person
gone.
can water breathe, or is it a group? Is it like a bubble
It
that
is. It is a single scroll right now. One second. Let me. But if you give me some time, let me see what I can do with it. And assuming you give me a couple hours, 4 in particular.
you know
Uh,
you got all day at this point?
yep. So I'm gonna roll 2 Arcana to see if I can add it to my spell book real quick.
Hmm.
I need 18 on both of these. The first one was resist, and then the second one is I would have had guidance up on that first one. They're all with guidance, so those should have both hit for me.
I'll take it.
Appreciate.
Yeah, and Rekla would be willing to cast guidance for stuff
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
I can cast it on myself, so.
Well, he's saying it wouldn't hurt to have guidance on top
Yeah.
of guidance and insurance on
Does it
top of
stack?
insurance. Yeah, I'm with you guys. That's why I would say it's a pass.
Well, I was just
Okay.
saying because you can only do it for one check, and
Yeah,
then you're
you can't.
immune for however long.
For an hour, but it takes
Yeah.
me 2 hours to do
Ah, I
this.
see. Yeah,
So I can every single time I do this, I can right at the beginning do my guidance on it.
true.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So okay. So at this point in time now, metagaming wise, that's now in my spell book, so I could cast it multiple times, so we could get the whole party under it. Because I could cast it 2 or 3 times and then use the scroll for a fourth potentially to cover the entire party, and you like use up all my slots on it. But Sydney's going to explain it away as she's capable of utilizing scrolls without them dissipating into
So
nothingness.
that's water breathing.
Sometimes she's not so good.
That's water breathing specifically, right? That you were
Oh,
talking
shit.
about.
Well, it would be the resist energy and the water breathing.
And the water
They're
breathing.
both in my
Okay,
spell
so
book.
so
But
if you climb the
I can't do
tower,
both.
but what about climbing the tower?
Well, that's the problem. I can't do everything, right? Like we have to pick what our plan is, and then I need to put
I
it
know,
in my.
I
I
know,
need
and
to
I was just trying to make sure that was on the table with the other two.
Right. No, it'll eat up a shit ton of spell slots for me to make this.
Yeah.
So, but Sydney will basically try to sci-fi magic away and explain how she can use magic items highly efficiently rather than
So
give
Sydney's
up the
just a
truth of wizard.
habitual liar, is what we've got. So,
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Look,
you know that's a good point. I think you know Fen Warden, if you wanted to do a check
this
at this
one's like her
point,
worst deception roll she's
that's a
had.
bad. Yeah, do a perception check. Do a perception check, Fen Warden, because I think that's a great
This is where the story finally
way of
It
starts.
might
kind of
be
like,
on to you.
yeah,
yeah.
things are unraveling a little bit. Oh my god.
Oh, oh, you got
Okay.
nailed.
Yeah, you got seen through right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since you saw her for 4 hours furiously scribbling notes into her
This makes no
notebook,
sense.
aka spellbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, let me write
Well,
this scroll down along with all these other scrolls I
well,
have.
you're full of shit.
That's a
And
book.
And I'm a unicorn.
but
So
you know, it's still the deception, you know, bit should go on forever though, because it's just, you know, in Sydney's nature. So I think it's
Oh
good.
yeah, no. I'm
yeah,
a rogue. I'm a rogue. I don't know
yeah,
what the fuck you're talking about.
exactly. All right. So you guys, you've spent some hours. You've got confirmation that Sydney can help you do whatever you guys want to do. If you want to climb the smokestack, if you want to go underwater, or you want to, you know, resist the fire effect, you've got a lot of, or you can wait and see if the weather turns and the staircase reveals itself.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you got to pick and let me know in advance. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Didn't mean to shoot that one in there.
Is any one of these going to put Sydney in a better position once? Because I think the real fun's going to start once we get inside, and I don't want Sydney to be exhausted.
yeah, I
getting
don't
us
think
inside.
because of the resources it takes to do the water entry, I don't think we should try the water entry. I think we
Okay.
should, if we are going to go now, I think we got to go with the, well, we don't have a choice. We got to go with the,
So the water breathing would be the least resource intensive, actually, the water route, because I could use a single cast to target up to 5 creatures, which I was not
Aha.
aware of up until this very second.
oh,
Okay,
And
well,
it
that
lasts for an
changes things.
hour. Whereas the climb and the resist are both single. I believe they're both single targets. I'll figure it out as let's see here. I'm sure resist is.
I'm not sure though that with resist that you need to. I mean, because Fenwarden's got a resist, and somebody else did, right? Didn't Rekla?
Rekla has an elixir.
So you
Yeah,
really
but
need.
I'm not getting up the. I'm not going to get to the top of the chimney without that climber.
That's true.
I
You need to climb and
imagine
resist.
other Dalit in his armor is probably going to be a
He's gonna
questionable
be.
one.
Yeah, I mean he's
Probably.
strong though. He can just
Yeah, he's
fight
got
through it.
athletics though.
Yeah.
And
Acrobatics.
Rekla, I don't know. I don't know how your athletics are looking, but
Yeah, he can manage.
He's got other tricks.
I cannot.
It sounds
Just,
like it's the water. I wasn't
Yeah,
crazy about that either, but
I
I'm
don't like
starting
the
to think
water entry, but
yeah, I'm starting to think we start upstream, go into the water, and walk downstream. Yeah, underwater, look for an opening.
Well, it's just water breathing. It's not anything to help us in terms of
moving through the water.
moving through the water either, which is going to be another problem for Sydney, and I don't have a solution to that.
Hmm.
But that's all metagaming. That's
Yeah,
that's
what
us
what
the
what
party.
what would you
Sydney,
really be feeling at the in the moment
yeah,
here?
Sydney's
Es-
just gonna
especially
listen to
because you
what I
guys were
talk.
like you were convinced by two of you that we should wait a day for it to clear up, you know? So it's a question of do you want to wait a full another day? That's really the
Yep.
question. Because you could
And I'm gonna
definitely
leave
do
that
that.
to
You
the
could
boss.
stay on that strategy and again if it doesn't present itself, you know, you can always go in the water. So I don't mean to muddy the water. I just want to make
I
sure
mean,
you
I think
guys are
each
all
day we're
clear.
there. Each day we're there is just a day we get discovered and
Oh, we just lost Ben.
resources anyway.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you run the
Yeah,
risk of getting found for sure.
and we keep on
Yeah.
using more, supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I say let's go. Let's not wait for the
Yeah.
moon. And I say why don't we try climbing up to the window that the staircase went to? Because if
Well,
there's a chance that the staircase or the window at the top of the staircase is accessible.
We're playing D&D.
So you're gonna climb?
Well,
I think we need
yeah.
to send someone up. I mean, Fenwarden, I think, has a good shot of climbing the tower since it's more climbable than the chimney.
yep. If Fenn Warden give it a try, I mean, he's got athletics is pretty strong, so
And that's only about halfway up the tower, so we could probably get away with a 50-foot rope
Okay,
dangling.
so the first accessible windows are the goal, and you want to start with Fen Warden heading up.
yeah, Fenn Warden's gonna take
Okay.
a rope with him, um,
Okay.
and try the climb.
All right. You could go ahead and given the conditions, it's gonna be a DC 22.
I'll give him guidance.
Guidance, please. Thank you. Nope,
Oof.
that didn't work.
You still have a hero, do you? I don't
What's
think
the?
you've used yours. You haven't used yours, I don't
I
believe. I
haven't
know.
used mine. No, I'm just wondering if it's possible to try again, or if I fall. I don't think it's critical, so I don't think I
No, I mean
fall.
you can try again. You still have a hero point if you want to use it for this. That's up to you. But
I'm saying I'm not even sure I need to use a hero point. If you just try again on a climb.
okay, because you rolled a
Let's-
4.
Right. I don't think I. Did I critical fail it? I didn't, did I?
No.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
it was 22.
So yeah, blah 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 blah. I'm trying to find out what happens on a fail, just a regular fail.
Um.
I'm gonna have to. You only move 5 feet, so I'd have to make 10 checks.
Yeah, I mean a failure just means that you make no progress, right?
Right. Right. So
So you
did you
didn't
say it's
fall. You don't have the ability to fall yet.
okay? And how many feet up did you say it was?
To that first set of windows, it's 50
Uh-huh.
feet.
Wow, I'm gonna have to make 10 successful checks then. So all right, and
Well,
I only got
it's from okay. So if you're climbing from the platform level, it's 40 feet. So it's a couple of less,
okay.
but yeah, from the
So
ground level, it's 50 feet. Yeah.
okay, and the guidance probably only helps me on the first check. Is that what I?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're immune to guidance for an hour now. So
All right. Well, I'll still try it till I either fall or get there. So, um, um, so you said
Okay, so now
30
you're
feet,
up. You've made it up however many
5 feet.
feet. Yeah, 5 feet.
And what was the number I needed again? Was it
20,
20?
22.
22.
Oh, 22. Wow. Okay.
Okay, now
5
you're up
feet.
10 feet. Okay, I'm gonna let you go up
Oh.
another 10 feet. So you're up 20
So
feet right now. This will
halfway
be
there.
46 damage if you fall. Just throw that out there. All right, now you might want to use. This is might be the point where you want to use the hero point.
Well, he didn't
What's the?
fall.
That's not a critical failure.
Oh, okay, he didn't fall. Okay, I'm sorry, I thought he did there for a second.
Yeah, if I get that, I'm definitely using.
Yeah,
the
no, I
hero
thought it
point.
was. I got excited. My bad. There you
There
go.
we go.
There you go.
25 feet.
You're halfway. Keep going.
You're doing great. 30.
30 feet. Okay.
You're all like,
and then
drop that rope whenever you can. Okay, all right,
There
there you
we
go.
go.
There you go.
40
got-
feet.
he got to the window, so he's clean on by the window and he looks inside.
All right. So, yeah, you look. Let's see. Let me double check what level that is, because what level is that? All right.
That's quite a climb.
Yeah, you look inside, and you can see that there's a bunch of wooden crates, mostly in the room. You know, so as you just kind of peek through, you see some large, like 4x4 wooden crates stacked next to each other and on top of each other, almost like storage for the most part. There are some bookshelves in there as well that you can see, but you don't see any other like light sources or movement.
He's going to just pause for a second and to see if anything changes.
You can roll a perception check.
Yeah.
You hear talking
Mm.
coming from. There's a stairway in this room on the far end of the room, and it sounds like it's coming from down the stairs.
Got it.
It's definitely like spoken word for sure. It's definitely talking. What's being said isn't coming through very clearly, but it's voices for sure.
All right. So does he see anywhere he can tie this rope off to?
If you want to go through the window, you could try to wrap it around either crates or bookshelves, something like that is the most obvious. If you have like a grappling hook or something else, you can hang it on the edge of the window sill because it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
like it's got an outer edge to it, so it's got an area you could hang it from. So I don't know what else.
Okay, he will go inside. Just kind of try to stealthily just drop inside and not move around much.
Okay. Yeah,
And
so
then
make a stealth roll, please. And what do you want to do then?
so how about like if there's a slit in the wall in the rock or something like that where he could like tie a rope and a knot in the end of the rope so that he could pass the rope through the slit so that it would. He doesn't have a grappling hook, so he's looking for some way to secure the rope to the window.
Do you want to? You can probably make a check for either perception. I don't know if there's anything else that could. Survival. You want to do survival? That would
There
work
you
too.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So you definitely find a way you can wedge your rope in between some of the rock instead of tying it off to wood.
Great. Okay, so
yeah.
he puts a knot in the end so that the knot can't be pulled through the slot in the rock that he finds. And
Okay.
then he will drop the rope out, drop the end of the rope out the window, and lean over and flash his light down and give them the "come on up" signal.
So the rest of you see this rope come flying down after Fenwarden successfully scales it with relative ease, honestly, made it up the side of this thing in the rain, in a heavy downpour. So
Yeah.
you all, catch the rope, and why don't I have you, so that we could get a couple more rolls in before we finish, 'cause I know we're done, have you go ahead and do athletics checks to get yourselves up the rope to the window, and then that way you're all in the same spot for next session.
What's a path?
So this one is, let me see.
I could always give myself guidance to make it 20.
Yeah, I think it is. Let me just check. Surface being climbed. Slick rope is 20. Yeah. So you got guidance. You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Wait. Who else? Who am I missing? Sydney.
Me and Sydney.
You probably don't
Antigone is
have
going
to.
to pull out her the scroll of I keep wanting to call it spider climb because that's what it is in first edition. Gecko grip, and I'm gonna act like I'm casting it from the scroll, but clearly I'm not. I'm gonna use it my spell slot, and I'm gonna cast Gecko grip, and then I'm gonna right on up, and I move 50 feet. So it's literally one action.
One action. Straight up, 1, 2, 3. The rest of you file into the window, and I'll cut over to the other map here. Let me make sure I've got your.
And then I will have Gecko grip active for next session with a 10-minute duration.
Gotcha. So hopefully you guys can see the map. You've ended up in this little area with some items stored around you. I'll describe this room in greater detail when we start next session, but think of it as mostly appearing as a storage room at the moment with a spiral staircase in the northwest corner that descends upward and downward. So that's where we'll pick up next time, and we'll do it again in 2 weeks and see what awaits you guys.
Fenwarden's going to tell them to be quiet as they're coming in because of the voices.
True.
So.
I should have you guys roll stealth. Just that's a great point. And perception. So before we finish, if you guys could each do a stealth and perception other than Fenwarden, I want to figure out, and this will help at the beginning of next session. All right. Perfect. So those of you who got 20 perception, which all of you did, you hear the voices. You hear the chatter coming from that staircase specifically. You know, how stealthy you were getting in or out and what that means we'll determine next time, but you definitely hear that chatter, and you're aboard. You've found your way in. I'm personally glad you didn't do the water one. I'll just say that because yeah, that would have been brutal. But so I think this was probably one of the better choices you could have made, other than being patient and probably waiting for the staircase to emerge. But you essentially did the same thing. So cool.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Next time will be
Good
fun.
seeing everyone.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens
ya.
next time. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Jamie.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.